All right, we're here with head coach Danny Hayden for our weekly baseball press conference. Coach went down to UAB, went 1-2 on the week, but had a good outing in the final game. What would you say about the series?
Yeah, it wasn't good enough. That's for sure. We did not play particularly good baseball. Didn't take advantage of a lot of opportunities throughout the course of the game. Our response wasn't great, especially game 1 and 2. But certainly game 3, I would say our factor was pretty darn good. We're down 6-1 early in that game and come back and win the game after losing the first 2 games of the weekend. That shows some toughness from our guys and some fight. So I was definitely excited to see that. I don't think it's in this team at all to throw in the towel at any point. But if there was ever a time to throw in the towel, you're down 6-1 early in a game after losing the first 2. That's when bad teams give up. So it was really good to see our guys have some resilience there, some fight, some toughness to come back and win that game. That was good to see.
On that game on Sunday, Jonathan Brand came in and once it was 6-1 and shut the team down. He gave it 1 hit over the final 6 innings. Can you talk a little bit about his performance?
Yeah, part of the frustration the first 2 games that we didn't have a good opportunity to bring him in the game. He's an awful good pitcher for us. We kind of early in the season kind of think of him as our stopper closer type guy. And we didn't get an opportunity to give him the ball in those first 2 games. I guess the good part of that is he was certainly fresh for Sunday. We left him out there for a long time, and he was able to really grit through that game and get us a win. It takes, sometimes we talk with our guys, it takes somebody putting the team on their back and having everybody else follow them, and I'd say it was Jonathan Brand's turn to do that. He stepped up to that opportunity, put the team on his back, and got us a win.
All right. This week you got 5 home games. In fact, 9 of your next 10 games are at home. How important is it to finally get some home games?
Well, the home games are important. It's huge for development. Obviously, playing at home is fun. We love our field. We love being in Oxford. All that stuff is great. But development is the cornerstone of our program. And when you get to play home games, you get to have your whole team there every day. You get more time with them. It's easier for guys to get extra work in. The more home games you play, the better we get from a development standpoint. It's an extra practice basically every time we get a home game, especially for those guys who aren't in the lineup consistently. It's a really good day of work for those guys. It's easier to get in the weight room a 3rd or 4th time in the week too. So there's a lot of benefits to playing at home. There's a reason we're trying to get to 30 home games every year with our scheduling, and a lot of it is because of the development that we get.
All right, so this week starts with a game today against Wright State. Obviously, the Raiders have a 2-8 record, but they've played a tremendously difficult schedule and own a win over Louisville, the number 1 team in the country at the time. What can you tell us about them?
Wright State is an outstanding baseball program. They're very well coached every year. They play the game very high speed. They are very aggressive and a very confident group. I love playing them. I think our team shows up really good against Wright State. We've had good success against them as well. But it'll be 2 really good baseball teams that play the game the right way, I think, at McKee today.
All right. And then this week, you have a 4-game series against Milwaukee. First, what are some of the benefits of scheduling these 4-game series that include a double header on Saturday? And also then, can you preview Milwaukee?
Yeah, so the big thing about the 4-game weekends is having the 5-game weeks when you're in conference is really stressful on your pitching staff. So when you play Tuesday and Wednesday and then you have a conference Friday, Saturday, Sunday weekend, that's stressful on a pitching staff. So anytime you can do one of these 4-game weekends, it is basically eliminating an extra midweek game later on in the year. So that's a big benefit of them. It's also good to have these 5-game weeks early where it is a little bit tougher to have 5-game weeks with the weather and getting, like you see last week where we're canceled against Dayton, some of these midweeks get canceled. You want to put your pitching staff in some of these situations where you have to see what some guys look like who aren't getting those opportunities in a 3-game weekend. So it is really important to have these 5-game weeks early. We get to see guys. We mentioned some guys that pitch in the Purdue-Fort Wayne series that haven't pitched since then, and we're going to have to use guys, and guys are going to have to be ready for opportunities and show us what they can do. Like I said last week, we're still trying to figure out how to put this pitching staff together. It is ultra talented, but we have to find opportunities for these guys so they can show us when and where they can be counted on. And so far they're doing a good job of that, but we just need to continue to create more opportunities for the guys. As far as Milwaukee, quite honestly, haven't dove in at all to what they do well. Focused on Wright State today, but I do know, like Wright State, Milwaukee has played a very, very difficult schedule to this point of the year, and their record has very little indication of the talent on their team. Much like Wright State, Wright State is a at-large, potential tournament team at postseason play, who's 2-8 right now. They're a very, very good baseball program, and I would say the same thing about Milwaukee.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.